throw an onion ring at you.
There you go. There you go. All right.
There you go. That's your time.
Yeah, please be respectful of everyone's time. I think everybody's cool here. So yeah,
Okay, guys. So we put together. Sean and I actually put this together, and you posted it on Tag's website.
I don't think it's on the website. We have it right here, and it will be up very soon.
Okay, so she's going to get it posted. So we're going to go through here. There are 19 propositions. I'm not going to go through.
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah, I can make it.
We're not going to talk about people. We're going to talk about property taxes, debt increase, and government accountability. There's all these propositions. There's 19 of them. Let's start at the top. First one is Travis County Prop 1. There's two propositions of one. There's a city one and there's a county one. This is the county one, and this is a health care increase of 63% tax increase. A lot of reasons we don't want this. Number one, it's a tax increase, and it's to subsidize the healthcare industry for economic growth, and that's not our job as taxpayers. Okay? Three groups have come out against this. LULAC, District 12, most of who participates in the MAP program and gets services from Central Health. They do not trust that this tax is going to give them more health care choices. They went against this with Kirk Watson, and that was a big step. LULAC went against it. The Gray Panthers went against it. So here, you know, one of the big positives, they said, well, we're going to increase our Medicare, doctors who accept Medicare. The Gray Panthers are senior citizens. They said, no, we don't support this. We don't believe this is going to happen. So they don't agree with it. And then St. David's came out against it also. So those are groups that actually are in the mix, and they don't want it. So we say vote against that one, okay? Any questions about the central health tax? Okay. Number one, let's go on down. The next group is kind of government accountability, this top group. And moving the city council elections to November, I say please vote for that. The main reason is more voters are going to be able to participate, okay? The second proposition in the city, move the city council elections and give them 4-year terms. This reduces the amount of time that they're in. They can be in for 9 years. This will reduce it to 8. So I say do it. And everybody sitting on that council right now, except Kathy Tovo, their butts would be off of there if this passes. All those people would be up for voting. Okay, we'd have all those seats would be open.
What proposition is
Proposition 2. Okay, it's November elections and give them 4 years.
What group introduced that?
The city council actually put that on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Prop 3, we all are supporting Prop 3, 10 geographical districts. Easy.
Not everybody supports that.
Not everybody. We know not everybody.
Why do you support it?
That's okay.
Oh gosh, there's some reasons why we don't support it. We feel like that you will just be stuck with voting for that one person in your district. You won't be able to vote for anybody else. And we just want people to think about if they really want to be locked in to just being represented and being able to vote for one person. Because you're going to lose a lot of your voting rights. You won't be able to vote everybody off.
But not only that, it expands the council by 4 city council spots, and that raises the cost by over $1 million a year, which is going to come from somewhere, you. So, look, you guys for Jim one, God bless you. I'm with you, you know, but I just have a little opinion, that's all.
Yeah. What did Linda say against Mary?
It grows government bigger. It's going to add more.
Well, about the issue that you have about only being able to vote for one, what do you say?
It's an illusion that you have more. Just think about the fact that there are people all over the city who haven't had representation for umpteen million years. For 40 years, on the little flyer here it says 50% of Austin, 50% of the council members have come from those 4 zip codes over 40 years, and 15 out of 17 mayors. So, you know, I mean, there are some people who would argue that the House of Representatives should be no longer, that everybody should be elected statewide, right? Or everybody should be elected through the entire United States.
Right.
Do you support that? No. I mean, we
But
have
as far
geographic
as
representation.
Austin's
We've had it
concerned,
for years.
All those people
But
in
not at the city
Austin that vote, they have a chance to vote for every one of the members on the city council if they want to. They can go out and vote. Hey, there's nothing keeping them from voting.
I just had a clarification question for Linda. So is there any sort of term limits attached with Proposition 3?
Well, the term limits are a separate item. Now, we have term limits in the city of Austin already. It's 3 terms.
Right.
So Laura's correct.
9 years.
It reduces, you know, the
Prop 2,
by
yeah.
1 year. This is Proposition 2. But think about it. They're extending their terms.
Yep.
And this is what they
Think
really
it,
covered over in
make it
promoting
smart
Proposition 2. Prop 1 just says they moved the election to November, plain and simple. Prop 2, they added up a bunch of stuff. And they extended their terms to 4 years. Who has 4-year terms?
Nobody.
Congress people have 2-year terms.
The president. The president.
The President of the United States.
They want to be president.
November. Is that going to be November of an even year, or is it November?
2014. It'll be even.
An even year.
No.
So it's when people are out voting for Congress.
Yeah.
But wait a
Wait,
second,
let me answer.
there's two measures to move the election. And the first one does not say even or odd, because we have 3-year terms for city council members, right? So they just leave it to any November election. The second one says even years, and remember, it extends their terms to 4 years. I understand it reduces it overall to 8. But I personally think about how hard it is to recall politicians. They have a 4-year term. That's why I have a problem with Proposition 2.
Yeah, I do too. I think that should be in there. The least amount of time.
Yes.
I have a problem with
Yes.
the 2, Linda.
Yeah, okay.
So I would say one thing. There's one thing that they is not being told that they don't really have term limits now. The 3-term limits is the 3 terms they have now. That is an illusion. Let's take Bill Spellman or let's say Cheryl Cole. Let's just say Cheryl Cole, place 6, okay? She's ran in place 6. This is her. She won her 3rd term in May. She'll be in there, I guess, until 2015. Okay, like if everything stays the same. However, all she has to do is just to file in 2015 is to run, instead of place 6, run in place 5. And then she can serve another 9 years from place 5.
Yeah, see,
The
that's
whole
not-
3-term limit right now is a stark illusion.
That's interesting, Sean.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
Glenn?
I think my main pro for this is that we'd actually like level the playing field for actually getting someone elected. I think that's the overall like goal for this, because I mean I understand your citywide being able to vote on plenty of people, but like I said, having a district to vote on really counts out to like a lot of like the BS, your financial aspect of it. I mean, we cannot compare against the Kirk Watson money. We can't. We can't.
And I'd like
Small
to ask,
units.
how's it working for us now?
Yeah.
How's it working for us now? It's pretty shitty.
Right.
Pretty shitty. Okay, the police state, we've got just corruption out the butt, okay?
And we have to remember that this isn't gonna fix all our problems.
It's not gonna fix all.
It's an inherent problem in government is the problem. So
Okay.
whether we do this or that, I think that this is a little bit better. We have a chance at actually.
We're transpartisan here.
Yeah.
Let me ask this: is this a win either way, whether it's 3 or 4? I mean, is this
No, it's, let me get to
improvement on
4.
what we
Let me
have?
get to 4. We're not talking about 4 yet. But
Well, and my comment on the term limits thing is, this is, when we originally set up this country, it was about everybody participating, and now for like the last 30 years, we have this idea that you can be a career politician, which, what the hell is that? That wasn't ever part of it. You get these people that get in there and don't think, don't represent the people that they're in there for, don't do anything new, and so what are you? You're just a suit filling a seat that does nothing.
Yeah.
And
Elected by everyone but accountable to no one.
Okay,
Right.
let's move on to
Representative
number 4.
government.
Number 4, there is a big difference. Number 4, if number 4 passes, the Justice Department will throw it out and we'll stick with what we have. And that's the reason it got put on. The council put on Proposition 4, which is 821. It's not enough districts to give an opportunity district for African Americans, so it'll get thrown out. So we'll be stuck with what we have, and that was the plan for Prop 4. So don't be fooled by it.
Why won't it be thrown out, Laura?
Because you need 10 geographical districts, Ray, to get the proportion of an opportunity district for African Americans.
There's such a small number of African
There's
Americans
such a
in
small
Austin
number. You have to
that you
divvy
need
it
to
up by
have.
10. 8
It's a
won't
Voting
do
Rights
it.
Act. It's a federal Voting Rights Act.
8 won't do it.
I just wanted to add that one of the big differences is that we had to go out and get 33,000 signatures, Mary was talking about this, to put 10-1 on the ballot. It has the first independent redistricting commission of citizens who have no ties to council to draw the lines. And then what did the council do? They ignored their own committee that recommended our plan. They put their own plan on the ballot, and it allows them to gerrymander these districts. They get to draw the lines or appoint the people to draw the
But it
lines.
won't pass.
I trust them.
It won't hold muster. So the bottom line is it'll go back to status quo. We don't want vote against 4.
So Laura, what happens if both of them pass?
If both get more than 50%, one that gets the most votes wins. So that's why we're saying vote against 4.
Oh, against.
Against 4.
No. Yeah, it's
Okay.
voting against 4 just as important as voting for 3.
That's right. That's right. Okay, moving on. City council to hire their own staff versus appointments from the city manager. There's a lot of discussion on this one. If I were a city council member, I'd want to hire my own staff. I would not want the city manager putting these people in there as spies, and that's what happens today. You have spies in each one of the council members' offices, okay? And I know several of them in separate offices, but the staff needs to be hired by the boss, which is the council member. And I believe that's a real strong one. Any questions about that?
Well, how do you get anything relatively done if you don't hire your own people?
They don't, and they can't. The manager, the city manager does it.
What is?
It makes no sense. You're the boss. You should hire your people. That's all there is to it.
What about the argument of the institutional knowledge that is gained by having staff members that are familiar?
Or the nepotism argument.
Then you hire them.
Yep, nepotism argument.
The nepotism argument.
It's a big one.
You get a politician's going to hire his family and friends, and then
They
start
can't do that.
passing bills for pay raises.
You
actually can't do
That's
that.
the other side of it. So you've got two extremes. I think as a boss, you want to hire your own people regardless.
It's actually illegal for them to hire their family for the city.
Oh, is it?
I looked
Okay.
at it, yeah.
Okay. Second one is the city council to appoint the city attorney. I said vote for that one. I think the city council should have some legal say in picking an attorney that's not going to go with the city manager. The city manager, they appointed by the city manager.
Hey, Laura,
More
I
power to
agree.
elected officials.
I say yes to it. Here's why. You can have a case of a corrupt city manager who has full control of the
Which
city
is we
attorney.
did what we're
Mark off.
Okay? So, or you can have the city council appointed, which means you'd have to have at least 4 corrupt city council members.
That's right.
And so because you need more corruption, I'll take my chances with the city council appointing the attorney rather than the city manager. It took me a while to figure this one out, okay? So I ended up voting for this proposition 5, is that what it is?
This is number 5.
I think it's look for it.
Actually, 6. Attorney
6?
6. Yeah.
6? Okay.
And you know, look at what happened with Occupy Austin. The city manager made the decision to go in and tell Acevedo, go run all those guys in, right? And that was the city attorney who reported to the city manager, supported that. And I think if they'd been reporting to the city council, there'd been a little more discussion about it than just the mayor doing it on his own. So I think yes on the attorney being appointed by the city council.
Prop 6, yes.
Prop 6. Number 7, reduce the number of petition signatures needed for citizens referendum. I say I do support this one, and the reason is that it reduces the number for recalls of these guys. Okay, and that's our power.
Where did that come from? Who put that up there, and why did they do it? I think
Morrison.
it's great for.
I think the council did
Morrison, I think.
Why? Do they want it to make it easier to recall themselves?
that. I don't know.
Linda.
The reason is that there's more than because the reason is
There's more
that
than
those
just
of us who've been doing all these petition drives over the last 10, 15 years have to use the charter amendment process because it's capped at 20 and it's 5% versus of the registered voters other than
10.
As opposed to 10. So no one ever does referendums or initiatives because it's twice the number of signatures and there's no cap.
So why do the council?
They did this because there's been a lot of rancor about us using the charter amendment process, and so they're thinking, all right, let's just give in and let them do these other things. That's all I can say. It's unbelievable to me that this is on the ballot.
It's shocking.
This is probably the most important other for me than other than three. I mean, this is for initiative and referendum, and Mike Ford understands this well. No one ever uses the referendum process in this town. It takes, he got 90 days to get 60,000 signatures.
I have to say one thing about Portland.
Yeah.
Oregon. How many days? 28 days?
29 days.
29 days.
43,000
signatures to get fluoride out of the to stop fluoridation.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was to put it on a citizen's ballot.
Yes.
But meantime, it stops it. It is called a referendum.
Yeah.
And so the city group, who by the way is an at-large council of 5 people in Portland, a big city too, 600K, and they are they're vicious and evil just like our council. And when people when people began collecting those signatures, the mayor or the water department council member immediately started revving up their plans to force the building of that plant and spending the money before the people could vote on it. However, the referendum will put a stop to that.
So it's impressive.
It's impressive.
Over 40,000 signatures in 28 days. It's just shocking.
I mean, what's the general consensus with this one?
On the reducing the number of signatures?
40.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4. Reduce those signatures.
This is, I mean, we've got a double-edged blade.
You always do.
I work for, ABC company, whatever it is. We want to come in and work taxes on people, get you to pay for whatever it is that we want to set up. We come in, we've got a slick, PR campaign, bunch of hot shots, very, plenty of money to back it. And we can come in here and we can, pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Because I mean, the majority of people aren't paying attention. I mean, they listen to the brief thing, whatever's advertised the most, okay, yes.
Huh. It's ridiculous.
And so there's a lot of concern here, because is this something that's going to be used against you more than not? I mean, if something like this is going to be passed, I think it has to be gone into with the thinking and understanding and sort of a mutual commitment to say that this is the blade that we're going to use and use to our. I mean, you've got to have. If something like this is going to go through, I think you've got to say we've got a ton of good ideas. We've got a lot of support. People behind it to use this to our advantage. Than not. I mean, it's really like having 2 men in the ring, and well, I mean, what we're talking about is having 2 men in the ring and throwing a chair. You going to get hit with it, or are you going to hit them with it?
I would agree. I oppose this because the enemy will have lots of money. You can get on the ballot very easily, and then run a campaign.
When? Get it.
And then run a campaign and steamroll you.
Yep.
Okay.
I see.
That's what they
Plus,
do.
It's a lot harder to get people to sign for something. You go. I mean, when you do that, I mean, the city of Liverville, where I'm from, you have to get 20% of the registered voters. 20%. That is a huge number. And we went to the charter review. They won't reduce it because they want to make it hard for the grassroots movement to get things on the ballot for the people to then decide.
Yes. Right.
Because all it does is it gets it on the ballot.
This is too much work for wealthy people.
Yeah, they just go to the powers that be and have them get it passed first. They don't have to go to the people.
A bunch of people in here have done the ballot, the petition thing. It's hard to get the names on. It's very difficult.
It's already hard. I mean, we live in a process that's hard. And we got to man up and play the game to win. We don't do that.
I do see Robert's point, though, because with legislation, there's a tendency to do bad things. This government is usually coercive. So what we see is like we're going to see stuff like an ordinance that bans busking, which is like playing music on the sidewalk. Some angry downtown Austin alliance is going to get together, spend $100,000 on a campaign and say, everybody, let's ban music on the street of Austin, even though we're supposedly the live music capital of the world. Stuff like that, like little things. We're not going to win anything with an ordinance. We're not going to win anything with an ordinance.
They don't pay them off. They don't do the petition. That's the deal. They have the money to pay them off. This is more like, I agree with what you said, it's a grassroots option. It's a grassroots
The
option.
people with the money will go to the easy route is to
That's
go
right.
to the people
They
at
go
the
to the
city
Chamber of
council.
Commerce, and they go to the real estate council.
Get what they
I've
want
done it
anyways.
myself, just on the citizen side. You go
Right.
to the people who make the decisions and you convince them. If it's a people thing, it's very, very difficult to do that, and it basically prevents a lot of things coming from the people, and that's what it's all about. That's why this exists, is so that the people can be heard and get something to be voted on. If it's a bad measure, then you campaign against it then.
You guys have convinced me. I've changed my mind.
Okay, good discussion, everybody. Good discussion. Okay, so
What
next-
was it? Can you repeat?